Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Tuesday, August the 1st, 2017. It is the beginning of our August, and we are broadcasting here from our beautiful cottage on Bob's Lake in Ontario, Eastern Ontario. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place. Therefore, we wait for the market to open up, see what the market is doing, and then exercise the plan that best suits the market. That way we're not trying to define what we're going to do. We already have a strategy laid out. We're simply seeing who is in control and what the likely rotations are going to be. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to each morning in the pre-market session, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So going into yesterday, our main hypothesis was a open auction out of range, a move down, and then somewhere between the 71 and the 65 area, we are looking for the market, the buyers to step in and rotate us up and take us up into that 77, 78 area. The secondary hypothesis was an open auction out of range, a test drive down, leave the gap and get a gap and go day. Hypo 3 was a open auction out of range, failure to take out the overnight high or get a false break above the overnight high and then rotate down and then chop around in the upper distribution of the Thursday profile that had not been properly auctioned, and basically a chop between the 61 and a quarter and the 72 area. And basically that's what we got. We got a little bit of a combination of hypo 1 and hypo 3. So we had a high of 75. This is a weak high. So we had a Globex high. We had a prior high at 75 on the RTH. So this has become weak. Now we did break it in the Globex session. We did go up into that 77 area and take out that naked cross that we were talking about yesterday morning, but we've fallen back down, and currently right now we're trading at right there at the 74, 75 area. If we take a look at the news today, we just got some news out. We've got core PCE price index, personal spending, personal income. They all came out pretty much expected. A little bit of a beat here on personal income. We have 930 manufacturing PMI coming out from Canada, 945. We've got the final manufacturing from the US PMI, but the big one will be at 10 o'clock when we get the ISM manufacturing PMI, construction spending, ISM manufacturing prices. So that will be the big one. And then we have the total vehicle sales coming out throughout the course of the day. And then a fair amount of European news tonight, but tomorrow is when we start really kicking in some of the bigger news announcements and going into the end of the week with a lot of news coming out. Let's just step back and take a look at the macro to micro. I always like to start looking at my paper money and a simple candlestick chart, and I start on the monthly. Of course, this is the beginning of the month, so our month open was the open today at 24.70.50. I want you to pay very close attention to that 24.70.50. It was right at our close, just below our close from yesterday, 24.70. It's our month open. It was also the value area high from yesterday, so it's becoming a repetitive number. But what we're doing with the macro to micro is we're looking at the monthly, working our way down into the smaller time frames, and we're using a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA to check to see how strong the trend is, where the trend is being challenged, do we have slope and separation, is it being violated and possibly changing. You can see on the monthly, very strong trend. We're, one time framing up still on the monthly, and we're trading near all-time highs at the 24.80.50 with what I would consider to be a weak high. Going to the weekly, you can see that our weekly, we're above our week open. Our week open is 24.70.50. There's that 70.50 number yet again. And you can see we've got good slope, good separation, one time framing up so far in the last 4 weeks. Going to the daily, we've come back and we've challenged the trend numerous times in the last 4 days, tried to break below it, but every day we've been closing back above it. This is almost looking like a falling 3 pattern, almost a falling 4 pattern. But you can see we're holding the trend to the upside, and we do have good slope and separation. We do have that naked cross on the daily down there at the 24.30 level if we violate this trend by breaking the 54 level. Going to the intraday, you can see that we're in this consolidation mode. We're above the 9 and the 20. I would consider that this is a closed naked cross with this move down in the last 4 hours. The trend is still up, but it's weakening. Going to the 1 hour, you can see same thing. We've got this consolidation. We've come down and tested the 20 twice now, but we've popped up above the 9 and looking like we could get a continuation move up. 30-minute, basically all the same thing. Challenge the trend, violate it, and then take it back. 15-minute, you can see that we are trying to get back above the 20. We do have the 9 that has crossed the 20. So we've come up and closed this naked cross here, but we want to see this 9 get back above the 20 for the continuation of the trend to the upside. Otherwise, we're seeing some weakness coming in, and we need to hold above the 20 and wait for the 9 to catch up and cross. Going to the 5-minute, you can see that we were in this downward trend. They've taken it back, and now we're getting the continuation pattern to start the trend to the upside. If we take a look at the big picture, the composite, you can see just a little narrative. We were in this consolidation zone for a very long period of time, and basically finally accepted price here at 35.50. They broke out. They accepted value just above the value area high of that time frame, and then they broke out completely from the range, accepted value at the 57.50, gapped up, went up, accepted value higher, put in a new all-time high, tried to hold value here at the 76.50. They couldn't. They came down to the 57, picked up late buyers, and started to move back up. And the VPOC has shifted down slightly for the microcomposite, down to 68.50, but we've accepted that price, and now we're above that LVN we were talking about yesterday that separates the double distribution, which was the 72 and a quarter, 72.50, and we're now in this upper distribution with the 3-day microcomposite that we were trying to hold at the 76.25 level, and the CHVN, which is just above the value area. This has shifted up slightly from where it was, but you can see it's just sitting right on that what is it, 4, 8, 9 day microcomposite. So key numbers to understand is we've got undetermined fair value between the 74 and the 76. We've got the 72.25 separating the double distribution. We've got the naked close at the 70 area, and a 24.68. So between the 72.25 and the 70.50, it's a little sketchy, but I would be targeting that 70.50 if we break the 72.25, simply because of the fact the month open, the week open, the value area high. It's just a recurring number that keeps popping up. So if we take a look at our overnight session, you can see that we opened up, tested down, couldn't break below the RTH range low from yesterday, rotated up, had a false breakout of the 75 the first time they got up there, broke it by 3 ticks, came back to that 72.25 area and bounced off there 3 times, went up, finally went and took out that naked cross at 77, got to 77.25, didn't quite get to the 78, and then rotated all the way back down to 71, found buyers, put in a higher low, and come up. And we actually playing VPOC ping pong, because when I first started doing my homework, we were at 74, 75. It shifted down, and now it shifted back up again. We have a LVN right here at the 71.25. The IB high from overnight is 70.25. And we're creating this P-shaped profile up here in the upper distribution, and basically fighting this 75, which I would consider to be a weak high, but it has been broken in the Globex. So if we start moving our numbers over, our overnight high is 77.25. This naked cross is no more. Naked crosses are taken out during the Globex as well as the RTH. They're a 24-hour thing, not like a naked VPOC put into the RTH. Our low overnight is 24.66.25. And I don't think our VPOC is going to shift again, but it could. But currently it's at 74.75. We have this LVN at 71, but I'm watching this 70.50. That's going to be my key over underline today. Under it, I'm targeting the naked VPOC at the 68.50 and the value area low down here at 67.50. And looking for a trip through value. Of course, we have that 72.25 area. That's going to be a secondary number for me. Anything below that, I'm targeting a move down to that 70.50. I actually think that's going to be a pretty decent trade. And then, of course, the week high from yesterday and yesterday's Globex session, with the target still up here at the overnight high at 77.25 and the naked VPOC at 75. Our daily ATR is running right now at that's a 20 period full session daily ATR, and that is running at 1385. So you take the 66.25 low plus the 1385, and that gives us a daily upside ATR target that has not changed. It's still sitting at 2480. Our daily downside ATR target off of the 77.25 minus the 1385 takes us up to 63. Where's my daily? Oh, it's sitting underneath here. takes us up to 63.50. And this is not key line in the sand. Okay, and all our targets remain the same below, and everything above the 80.50 is completely open. We've got a couple measured moves at 82.25. There's one at 85.50. Okay, so our inventory overnight is, I'd say, about 75% net positive. We're in a P-shaped profile. We have a weak high here at the 75. Also a bit of a weak high here at 70 and 7.25, but I'm looking for this 78 to get taken out today. So what are my hypotheses for the day? My hypo 1 is an open auction just in range or just out of range, and a rotation back to between the 72.25 and 70.50, maybe even down to 68. But I'm really watching the 72 to 70.50 because we might leave this VPOC alone. But I'm looking for responsive buyers to step in. Same thing we've been looking at for many days now, and a rotation up into the 78 and a come up to test the 80.50 and put in a new all-time high. That is my hypo 1. We do have the news to do it today, so looking for new all-time highs today. My hypo 2 is an open auction just in range or just out of range, a push up into the 77, 78, and then responsive sellers stepping in and rotating us back down, chopping between the 72 and the 71, and then pushing down through into 68 and closing somewhere back inside of this lower distribution zone around the 68.50. Of course, we are getting a possible gap today, so we have to look at the possibility of a gap and go day. That would be my hypo 3. My hypo 3 will be an open auction out of range, close the gap, find buyers, or even fail to close the gap, and finding initiative buyers stepping in, taking us right up, breaking through that 80.50, hitting that 82.50, chopping in this upper distribution, getting a late day probe up into 85.50, and then closing back somewhere between the 78 and the 80.50. That is hypo 3. And then hypo 4 is a failure day, and failure to make new highs, finding responsive sellers, rotating us down into the 68, failing there and breaking down and breaking through the daily ATR downside target and coming back down into this 57 and closing somewhere between the 57 and the 61 area and getting back below this key line in the sand, which is no longer 61, it is 60. It's no longer 61.25, it's 61 even, and basically coming back down to do some repair work in this low volume area right here. So those are my main hypotheses for the ES. Take a look at gold. Gold is balancing out here. As we talked about yesterday, it is holding the 69. We did go up and test that 75 overnight. So we've accepted value at the 69. They're pushing through, and now we have balance up here in the 74 area and trying to break above this value area right here from this earlier micro composite on the way down. So they're basically stair stepping this up slowly. Again, the major target above is still up here at 1295.50, and that last fractal high at the 1298.80 to break back into the 1300s. So we're waiting for that to happen. We are getting quite some kurtosis around the 69.40. So if we failed to hold this level that we're challenging right now at 73, I could see us coming back into the 69 again, and possibly chopping down here for the rest of the day. If we don't hold the 69, then the first target below is going to be that 65 and then that 63 area. And the key line in the sand below us is down here at the 59.10. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.